Good evening. We're going to get started in a minute, but I just wanted to let everyone know that the maps have been updated this afternoon. So if you want to pull up your phone and go to the rezoning page, you can see the detailed maps. And then we're just going to get us another couple of minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay? You're fine, Deb. You're fine. Just stay down there. You sure? Yeah, yeah. Just gonna let her do it. No, you're fine. Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's okay. If it's for you or anyone else. Even as
Oh, look.
ex-teachers have much more time.
Except for me, I went fully
A
digital.
little hairy, but.
Look, we got more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next time we do this, we need a tabletop fan.
I know, it's really getting worse in here. So you tell me, I'm gonna. Can I have a piece of paper? I'm gonna try to take notes just to keep my.
Yes. Keep your face neutral.
Yeah. Just when they keep doing the not my kid.
I have a drawer.
I want to tell you, she teaches him that
Hmm?
about so nice. He goes night school. It's like 8.
Yeah, I know that. She's like targeting him.
Who is it?
It's like the young guy who has cancer.
How can she even have an issue with anybody though? It's not. She doesn't own.
Hi, I'm so sorry. We're just complaining. No, I'm so sorry. No, she can do both or either or. She can. No, she'll hand it to us at the end of the night. I'll make an announcement for them to hand it to us at the end of the night.
And the people who are collecting will raise their hands.
Giving us the thumbs up.
Mhm. The what?
The people who are collecting them, you'll have them raise their hands.
Yeah. But I think Mary's not been here yet for one of the community forums. All right, Jim, it's your call. What are we doing?
We don't have specific questions this time.
We can-
No, just open
them
feedback,
every
yeah.
10 minutes. Okay.
Do we wait till 6:05? I see Brian's forehead.
Debbie.
Okay.
Here he is.
Here you go.
Debbie? Yeah. Since there's not specific questions this time, I'm just gonna number them 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not like the other times we had questions and I'd write question 1 and then 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's only, it's just an open.
Do you want to see what the notes look like last time?
see what one.
Okay, I just realized that I had the notes. I'm so sorry. I had them, I actually cornered them and said, I'm gonna need clarification. You can't call us, they can call us names. Here's 2 different sets for the same meeting.
All right.
So it's just personal preference of how you wanna. And
Well,
it's,
I'm not going to be as. I'm just going to start with question 1.
well, but there's only one, yeah, so just like number them.
Comment 1. Question.
Yep.
Whatever. it
Bullet
is,
points, stickers,
right? Got it.
anything you want. Okay. I don't know. She's
I used to talk to Jay Kennedy, that I've known Tina forever, and Angela, she's an amazing teacher. And I said, the thing with Angela, anytime she's ever worked at a school, nobody ever wants to work with her again.
so makes me so sad.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
So she doesn't want to leave. I can see that.
All right, good evening. My name is Sophia Watson. I'm the director of Simpson Technical College and the co-chair of the rezoning committee. I'm sharing the stage this evening with my co-chair, Mr. Jim Lipsey, who's the manager of planning, design, and construction. Also, we have Ms. Fenning and Ms. Pribble, who are members of the rezoning committee who have agreed to capture notes. In addition, we have numerous members of our rezoning committee who are here volunteering this evening. On June 15th, we held our first community forum where we gathered feedback on primary and secondary criteria for rezoning. The committee reviewed the feedback from the forum and the online comments to create map proposals that were presented on July 27th. To date, we've had over 600 comments that have come through our Let's Talk app, all of which were reviewed by our committee. During today's forum, comments will be collected based on the draft plan that we presented to the school board, that we'll present to the school board on October 10th. In a minute, we're going to open the microphone for discussion, but we want you to know there are 3 ways to contribute feedback. So unlike a board meeting, this has a much more open way of contributing feedback, so we just want to cover those real quick. The first is speaking during the time that we've allotted for comments, or you can use the Let's Talk feature on our website, or you can choose to complete an input form that's handed out this evening. And so can our folks who have the input forms raise your hands so people know who to get them from? So Miss Mizuko, wait, I was going to say, I lost my other volunteers. Miss Massa has some forms. Perfect. So these are the ladies that you can get the forms from in case you need them. If you don't feel comfortable doing the Let's Talk application, or you don't feel comfortable talking in a microphone. So again, thank you to our volunteers who will have those available for you to complete, and we'll also collect them from you. We also want to take a minute to clear up some misinformation. The recommendation of the partial zone at Chocachati Elementary School and the full zone at Nature Coast Technical High School would not impact any existing magnet school students. Those students can choose to remain in their programs through completion. In addition, Chocachati will remain a magnet school, but a small partial zone would be added to alleviate overcrowding at surrounding elementary schools. The selection criteria will remain 70% lottery, 30% portfolio. However, by adding the small zone for a number of magnet seats, made sense when I typed it, I'm sorry. Adding the small zone would reduce the number of magnet seats for future students, reserving the current capacity of the school.
Before we get started, we also wanted to remind you that all of these recommendations are going before the board, and it's the board that will ultimately decide what gets approved, if it's modified, how we move forward. But these changes will not take effect until the 2024-25 school year. Due to time constraints, we want everybody to be able to have a moment to speak, but to also stay within the time constraints. We're asking that each speaker keep your comments, please, to 2 minutes or less. We'll go for a maximum of 2 hours, 120 minutes. If you don't get an opportunity to speak at the mic, again, as Ms. Watson said, the Let's Talk application or the input forms, we're gathering and collecting and collating all of your comments. We're listening to what you're saying, and that gets forwarded to the committee as a whole for their input and recommendation to the board as well. In order to be able to hear everyone's feedback, we ask please remain respectful throughout the process. Applause and additional comments shouted from the audience really will only take away from the allotted time that each speaker has. If you'd like to speak, we'll ask you to line up at the microphones. We'll take turn alternating between sides. Again, we're looking forward to your comments. We want to hear them, and we are incorporating them into the work that we do to the best that we can. Based on community feedback gathered at our first 2 forums, the rezoning committee attempted to balance capacity at each school within the district. The committee is seeking feedback regarding any minor adjustments that need to be made to the draft plan as it exists this evening. This will be presented to the school board at a workshop on October 10th. So we're going to take a few minutes and look at the revised maps. Again, these were just finished and pushed up to the website today, so you can download them. I'll basically guide you through how the maps are designed, how to read them and navigate through them so you'll understand what they're trying to convey. the one of the comments that we had before was that the previous maps were confusing with current boundaries and proposed boundaries overlaid on top of each other. And so what we've done is we've created separate maps, one that shows the current boundaries, but there's an area of change that's overlaid on that area of proposed change on the current boundaries. Then there's a second map that follows that that has the proposed boundaries, but with the same areas of change overlaid. So as you compare current and proposed boundaries, you'll see those areas of change remain the same. And so hopefully that'll be a little easier to understand than which residents, which students and families are affected. And then the detail maps that follow, let me do this. Let me try and make this a little bit larger here. Okay. If you can see on the screen behind me here, this is the current school boundaries that we're looking at right now. And I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So if you see the area that has the dot screen on top of it, those are the areas of proposed change. There are some, sprinkled in various locations throughout all of the different school zones. But if you see that dot screen on there, that's the areas of proposed change. In this case, it's overlaid on the current boundary. And as we go to, I'm sorry, that one, okay, this is the current boundary. Forgive me. So the concept is still exactly the same though. So the current boundaries, are shown for elementary school. It's in the blue line that's here, and the gray or the dot screen area shows those areas of change. And then when we get into the proposed boundaries, same areas, but you can see where the boundaries will be, where they're proposed. Now, when you get to the detailed maps, we took a progression through, starting at the north end, where it's showing between Winding Waters and Pine Grove. We zoomed in close enough that you can see street names, and we took basically snapshots that go down through progressively through each of these areas of change. So detail map number 1 is in the northernmost boundary. That's where it starts. Then the snapshot moves a little further south, then a little further south, and it proceeds to the southern end of that area of change, moves through Spring Hill Elementary School, through Deltona and Explorer. Then the detailed maps then show the Chocochatty area, and then also Moton, Brooksville, and East Side. So it starts from the center and then moves through kind of a counterclockwise direction. So this first map will, the detailed map will zoom into there. Forgive me, I am not adept at this version of Acrobat. All the tools I know where they were in the old version aren't there. So here's the concept. So on the left side in green, you see Winding Waters K8. And again, all of these detailed maps apply to the proposed changes. Okay, so the blue lines, if you go back and look at the proposed overall county map with proposed, these lines correspond with that. The area of change, again, has the same dot screen on top of it. So in this example that's shown here, those who live west of the Suncoast Parkway are currently in Winding Waters and would remain there. And then where the dot screen is, those are in winding waters that would then be, if this is accepted by the board, would be in Pine Grove. So really, it's where the dot screen is, both on the large map and on the detailed maps, that will let you know, okay, is my street affected or not? That was one of the complaints that we heard with the last set of maps that we had as well. Keep in mind that what the committee is really seeking feedback on is how that boundary as a whole will impact the district, and how it will impact the community. Our focus here tonight really is not on a street by street level of detail to promote or to criticize the plan, but really we're looking for your feedback for this general area of change in this vicinity. How do you perceive that impact to the school and to the community as a whole? Having said that, we can go through the detailed areas further if you want, but since our goal really is to understand these proposed areas of change and to get your feedback on that, let's go ahead and begin with that.
Okay, so at this time, we're going to open up the floor for comments. We have two folks at the microphone, so we keep it very informal again, and you don't have to fill out a form to speak. You can just line up at the microphone. There's a 2-minute counter. Once your microphone goes off, we just ask you to step in the back. If there's anything that you didn't get a chance to say, let's talk, or the input form, and then we'll just go all the way through. I think we have plenty of time if we keep it to 2 hours, but again, you have multiple ways to speak, and rest assured, your voice is heard regardless if it's at the microphone, if it's in Let's Talk, or if it's on the input form. They're all looked at the exact same way. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open the microphone for anyone who wants to come up to speak. You can just line up. And again, you can go to either side of the microphone. We're just going to alternate left to right.
I guess she abandoned me. Good evening, committee members. My name is Amanda Braswell. My daughters currently attend kindergarten and 3rd grade at Chocochatty. I also volunteer leader with the 4-H program there. So I had to shorten my speech due to the time constraints. So I'm just going to jump right into the questions that I have. Let me pose this question to you. How many 3rd graders do you know can balance their own bank account, track their supply costs for their steer project, and analyze how much money they need to sell that animal per pound for at the end of their show to make a profit? Most high school seniors and quite a few adults have problems with this, but my 8-year-old can, utilizing skills that she acquired at Chocochatty Elementary. She's beginning her 4th year as a member of the Native Farmers, the only 4-H club in the state of Florida that is comprised only of members from the school and meets exclusively during school hours. These students raise and take care of chickens, goats, rabbits, and a garden, all as part of their curriculum. And you want to limit access to this program to a certain geographical area. Now, I understand that changed, which I was not made aware of until 20 minutes ago. Okay. The rezoning you are proposing here today removes the ability of some parents of Hernando County students to choose this type of education for their children by limiting the number of seats at this school. What gives this committee the right, or the school board, to say that I can't choose this curriculum for my child because I don't live in a certain zoned area? Again, I understand those parameters have changed right now. How will you choose to remove what student from the school due to overcrowding? That's a question you need to think about. Another question is, are the parents whose children that are zoned for this school going to be held to the same standards of volunteer hours that are required for this type of program? Will you choose to remove that student if those requirements aren't met? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sylvina Doherty. I am the micro coordinator at Chocochatty. I've been there for about 17 years, and I just extended my drop for another 3 years because of my passion for the program. There are a couple of things I want to talk about. I want you to understand that our micro society is an international program. We had 2 different schools from different counties where the superintendent told the principal that they had to become a micro society. We had another school last year to come see what we're doing. Everybody who comes to our micro society is highly involved. Parents have to sign that they're going to volunteer. They have to be prepared for the rigorous work that we do and the hands-on learning. It is not just math, science, and no application. Our students, 3 days a week, have full application of what they learn. We have a bank, we have a salon, we have a farm, we have a cafe. And all of these micros are not based on just fun. They are all research-based. They are all based on CTE. We called all of the high schools and we tried to match every program to every high school and now the college. We definitely want to prepare our students for the future. If one of our micros is not relevant in our future, it is removed and we add a new future relevant micro. If you have students that are not wanting to be there because they just live there, it doesn't help. We have arts and music and violin and piano and guitar, you name it, but they have to work. It's a little business 3 days a week and they get paid. They have to go to the bank. They have to learn money management. All of those skills the states are asking us to do. If you remove the choice, then
Good evening. My name is Mary Rudder, and I currently have a daughter that attends Chocachati. She's in 4th grade, and she was accepted into the program in 3rd grade. So she previously attended Pine Grove Elementary. Don't have anything against Pine Grove Elementary, but I always wanted my daughter to attend Chocachati. So I tried every year to get her in, and it was a very difficult and trying process. I believe that by allowing a partially zoned school is creating an unfair process to the parents that are struggling to get their children into a better school. It was to my knowledge that they removed the sibling rule because it was an unfair process. So by allowing now students who are in a zone to the school is creating an unfair process. My daughter is now in kindergarten, did not also get accepted into the program. So now I am driving into 3 different schools every morning and trying to get to work on time at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I think one, it's, you should allow versus a partially zoned school, you should allow the sibling rule to be accommodated back into the program. My daughter, she, like I said, moved from Pine Grove and she moved into Chocachati. She has completely accelerated into the school more than she did in Pine Grove. She won the Hernando County Science Fair as part of her grade level in Chocachati. So I do believe that Chocachati offers more things than the other schools do. And I think that taking away the magnet school and allowing these other students is not going to create that same culture and that same commitment that parents have and the passion that parents have for this school. You're going to have a whole mix of individuals who may or may not have the same commitment. Thank you.
I remind everyone that
Hi, my name is Cindy. I have 2 daughters that have gone to Chocachati, and I have a kindergartner that goes through Chocachati. My daughters loved it. I just want to say that magnet schools serve specific student needs, enhance parental choice, promotes diversity, and preserves educational investment. Converting them into a partially zoned school would undermine these benefits and compromise the quality of education provided. Therefore, magnet schools should continue to exist as magnet schools, ensuring that students have access to specialized programs and opportunities. I know the percentage has changed, but my question is, the applicants that are the partial rezone students, what happens to those kids that would apply to Chocachati? Was it a wash, like for, like, let's say it's 40 students from rezoned gets placed in Chocochatty, and then the other 40 that weren't zoned goes to their zone schools? Like, what would be the point? What's the purpose of that? Thank you.
Okay. Hi. So oddly enough, I had this embroidered picture with a saying on it growing up in my house. Failure to plan on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. It feels pretty relevant here. The school board messed up. They planned badly, and now they want our school to pay for their mistakes. Did this quantity of students pop up out of nowhere? No, it's been brewing for a decade or more. 29, that was the number of cars that didn't make it through the Chocochatty drop-off line before the bell rang on Wednesday, August 16th when I wrote this. I counted. And please don't try to tell me if those people had shown up earlier that they would have gotten through. That drop-off line is like a train. They start letting people out at 8:05, and by 8:35, there's still a mass of people left. If everyone showed up at 6 a.m., those people in the back still wouldn't make it through. And that's just the drop-off line. And most, if not all, those people in the new zone would be within 2 miles. Therefore, no bus. And with all those new people, this new building going up, that's a whole lot of people in that new zone. The 40 students being affected quote I read online is a load of bull, and everyone knows it. Our school is something special. It's not about household income. It's not about where you live. It's not even just about grades. It's about parental involvement. Changing the dynamics takes the special out of the school, and it's going to tank it. Once anyone is zoned, they can no longer actually enforce many of the requirements that are in that school. And don't get me started on what this is going to do to the size of the classrooms. Our teachers in here are amazing, but it's also not their job to pay for the board's mistakes either. Don't let them fool you. If it weren't going to pack our classrooms, it wouldn't be worth fighting about. I'm kind of thinking about something that some agreements may have been made behind the scenes, but I digress. And please don't try to patronize us. The same scenario happened with Nature Coast, and the end result was a very well-rated school is now just acceptable. Just to be very clear, my son will not get bumped out of that school with this decision. He's in there now and will be in the new zone. I'm not panicking because my child is going to get potentially booted out or any of the decisions that were made. I'm here because poor planning by our board is going to hurt the school. For the record, I'm running out of time. Sorry. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name's Edward Sutton. My son Connor attends Chocochatty, and both Chocochatty and Challenger are magnet schools, and their curriculums are crafted in a certain way to help growth of the child. I think interfering with either magnet school would be a disservice to both of them. But what kind of weighs on me a little bit is that Challenger is not going to be affected by any rezoning where every school in the entire district will be. So that's kind of an issue. So I would say leave them both alone or zone them both. Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Holly Fischhofer, and I'm terrified of public speaking. Just gotta put that out there. I'm the lone wolf here. I'm a mother of a Nature Coast technical student who was just accepted as an incoming freshman. Her name is Emily Fischhofer. Prior to that, she attended Winding Waters K-8 at 126% capacity, which was horrific for a child on the spectrum. I can't express to you the difference we've seen in my daughter over the last 2 weeks. The administration, the staff, the people there, the culture, the emphasis on education is unparalleled. I've never seen anything like it. We're from Orlando, and my older son went to a private school. I feel like the rezoning that you're considering, or the boundaries that you're considering, would sincerely impact that culture. It would probably put kids like my daughter into her shell. She's brilliant, but she got picked on a lot. The classroom sizes were 37 to 40 at times, students in those teachers' classrooms. I feel like I agree with the speaker before me that, Challenger is untouched by this, but, we got Chocochatty and Nature Coast on the sort of chopping block. Like, I understand the challenges facing this county, but I also understand that as a parent of a child on the spectrum, the culture at Nature Coast needs to be preserved. The programs there need to be preserved. the teachers, Mr. Z, the biology teacher, he started emailing me before the school year even started. It's just an amazing thing. And I would beg you, I would implore you and the school board to consider perhaps maybe lessening the boundaries and, just think about it. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Patty Wagner, and I am the data entry person at Chocochatty, and I have been there for going on 24 years. I have been through the ups and downs of the entire district for the last 40 years, with my own students being zoned for schools that were much further away when we lived half a mile from a school. It is going to be that problem forever. Magnet schools definitely is a program where it is a school choice. The definition is a public school offering special instructions and we're not available elsewhere, designed to attract more diverse student body from all traditional zones throughout the school, and they exist outside of zone boundaries and are schools of choice, and children are based on their interests. That means that every child should have that opportunity. So if we go to a zone, it is going to take that chance away from many, many more students than just the 40 that is being projected. And the whole thing is this magnet schools in the whole state of Florida is 700. And there's 67 counties that are involved, and at least 8 to 10 schools are magnet in those in those districts. We have 3. We're going to cut it down to a real magnet, which is only going to be 1, and that's 1. So what are we doing at not advancing and going backwards instead? Michael Cellini fought for it for years before it was even approved. And then here we've developed it into something, and it's just become a great program. The partial zone, and I'll probably run out of time, is if it's created, it's going to cause more issues because the juggling of number of spots available is a difficult task at nature shows. They are now overcrowded because we didn't give enough spots for them. Challenger is sitting with 4 kids in a classroom for the gifted program because their gifted program can't be predicted. You cannot predict what's going to happen in the zone. Our zone is going to include an apartment complex, 2 developments, a brand new one that has 70 people. So all of a sudden it could jump from 40 kids to 70. And if I have time later, I will take care of the rest.
Hello, my name is Nicole Johnson, and I'm protesting the rezoning for Chocochatty. My son, Jackson, who attended Chocochatty since kindergarten and is now in 2nd grade. The rezoning will not only affect my son, but future students. Chocochatty, being a lottery school, has kept classes smaller and allows students to get more hands-on learning, which allows them to go on their own pace and the ability to learn at different speeds. Chocochatty has also been able to give students learning tools that allow them to grow in today's world, like their micro. They're able to balance and have balance a checkbook, a bank account at kindergarten. He was able to come tell me that he was able to pull money out of the bank and go to the Sassy Salon and get his hair done. He was also able to do the 4-H club and work with live animals, and he was excited. If you take away the Chocochatty and make it a zone school, you're gonna rob my son and my daughters of their future and learn having these abilities. So I hope we can keep Chocochatty as it has been all these years.
Hello, my name's Will. My daughter attends Chocochatty. I'm new to this. This is our first year. She's in kindergarten. Everybody pretty much said everything I would have already said, except for the small fact of the zoning. It looks like it's tail end of Ozark Town, a lot of California Street. A lot of people living in that area are living below the poverty level. How are they going to be able to afford $200-300 worth of uniforms? We also only put our daughter in Chocochatty because of its somewhat private element. We were either going to do private school or homeschool, and the parents are very submitting those zoned students. Forgive me, and I mean no disrespect, but a lot of that area, their parents don't care what their kids are doing. They're going to just send them there, and that's going to be it. That's going to mix and somewhat bring the level and status of the education at Chocochatty down, in my opinion. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Delia. My daughter just recently got accepted into Chocachati this year through the lottery, and we were ecstatic because I have family members that kids go to Chocachati, and I heard nothing but great things. And I'm really happy that she did because just from the beginning of the school year, I've seen a major difference because she went to Pine Grove last year. Nothing against Pine Grove, but she was there for 2 years and she still can't count to 10 or spell her name, and she's in kindergarten. I think that there should be zoning protocols for building all these communities instead of trying to rezone for Chocachati. I think you guys should try and build another public school and put money into educating in those public schools and keep Chocachati the elite school that it is. It's a miracle that she got in to begin with because those lotteries are crazy. But, you know, we reached for it because there's a chance for a better education for my daughter. She's on the spectrum, and with increased classrooms, with all this influx of kids, it's going to be less of a learning environment and more of a circus because these teachers are there to teach, not to wrangle 50 plus kids in a classroom with all the influx. I mean, you guys have seen that line, the lines in there. If you have more kids coming there, that line's going to be all the way down to Sterling, where I live. It's going to dilute the learning environment, and any kid is just going to go there just because of their address. And that's not fair because kids go to Chocachati for the learning experience, for the education, for the environment. And I just don't think that rezoning for just anybody should be doing that. I think you guys should try and find property and build another public school and do that instead of building all these communities and letting just anybody just come on in. Chocachati is an elite school and people go there for the education. I mean, I'm one to see it personally. You know, it's horrible. Thank you.
Good evening. My daughter just got into Chocachati. She's in kindergarten. I am a fellow educator. I've taught in L300. I've taught in Title I. Yes, the teachers always care, but the teachers are overworked in schools like that. When you have children below the poverty line coming to a new school, it's going to end up being a Title I school. There's a million things on those teachers' plates. They don't have time anymore to do all the fun things that they're actually doing now at Chocachati. I've done it. It sucks, but that's what ends up happening. And if we want to keep it an A school, we have to do what we're doing now. It's been an A school since 2007. While we have Explorer and all these other schools, J.D. Floyd, that are C's, D's. If we make Chocachati a zone school with the same children that are going to these schools with parents that just don't care about their children's education, it's going to turn into a D and C school. If we want to keep it an A, we have to keep doing what we're doing. Rezoning it would just be a disservice to all of those teachers and students at that school. Thank you.
Thanks. Hello, my name is Bobby Russell, and I'm a product of the Hernando County School District education system. I believe that Hernando County School District in general is a fantastic school district. I know that teachers from every single school work just as hard as every teacher at Chocachati. I think the education, we all teach from the same books. We have the same passion. However, I want to talk a little bit about what is going on at Chocachati. So academic education is not for everyone. However, school is required for everyone. I've seen firsthand what our program at Chocachati can do. We have students that never feel like winners and never feel like they belong. However, through our micro, they feel that they are part of a team. People are counting on them, whether it is our 4-H programs that allow students to showcase their animals or students that work behind the scenes at our news station. They have found their purpose. If we move this school to a zone school, we are robbing students that live outside of the zone the opportunity to feel part of a team. In a world that is run by money, a public school that is free and allows students from all walks of life to be part of it, is incredible or incredibly special. Please do not take away the magic.
Hi, my name's Erica. My daughter actually just got into Chocochatty this year, and it's something that we have been wanting to get her in ever since we started her journey in school. She came from Holy Cross, and they prepared her well for Chocochatty. We asked her, we went through what she wanted to do, and just going and sitting in a classroom and being taught math and reading and certain aspects of education in a specific way from a book does nothing for the real world. They are learning, like everyone said before me, how to make money, how to save money, how to do a bank account, how to care for animals. It's not just education from a book, it's experiences. And opening up the school to other children outside of the magnet facility degrades that. Not only that, I don't have the option for the sibling choice to be able to get my youngest daughter in. So that means I have even less chance to have both my kids in that school, which increases drive time, dropping off. It degrades her education because now she can't get in because there are students that are just zoned for that school. Opening it up and not keeping it a magnet school would be a disservice to all of the children that go there. It degrades the quality of education, and it devalues the hard work that all of the parents have done to get their children where they are in Chocochatty. So I really hope that you guys consider not making these changes. I think it would be detrimental to the community and definitely my family. I love Chocochatty. She has been amazing there this past these 2 weeks. I mean, totally different kid, just like other people have said. It really does. It's just an amazing program, and it creates great changes.
Hi, my name's Donna. My son actually goes to Winding Waters, and we chose the area where we live because of the school district, and I appreciate what everyone's saying there. But a couple of comments was made that is kind of sad because, yes, there's people that cannot afford to go to the school you're talking about, but that doesn't make the other schools bad where they're going. We chose where we live because of the School of Winding Water. My son, we moved from Illinois, and we chose that area and built our home there. They're talking about carving that out, and I'm just as upset as the rest of you because I don't want my child, when he lives 4 miles from the school, have to ride 10 miles to school. And with the current busing situation, the kids are not getting to school until an hour after they're supposed to in all these areas. So I understand what the one parent said about kids coming in that may not be able to afford and stuff, but every child deserves a chance at having school, and magnet schools are great, and we've looked into them also. But every child deserves a fair chance at having a very good education, and it depends on how they get it. I mean, the scholarships and stuff that are out there that help these parents send these kids to these magnet schools. That's a wonderful thing. But again, this rezoning affects all of us. It hurts. It hurts everyone. And I'm hoping that nothing serious happens with it. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
New comments. Anyone who wants to add something, please use the other two features. But any new comments to the microphone?
So my name is Paula. My daughter goes to Chocochatty as well. She's in first grade. This is her second year. So I don't have really much new to say. I mean, I second everything that everyone said about it being a fantastic school, and I'm very much against the rezoning. And I just wanted to second whichever parent it was who brought up the idea of creating another new public school, putting the money towards that. I think that was a fantastic idea. So I just wanted to second that. Thank you.
Okay, at this point, it looks like that we are at the end of this community forum. If there's anything else that you'd like to share that has not yet been addressed, please use the Let's Talk application located at hernandoschools.org or grab one of the input forms from our volunteers. Let's Talk will stay open for 1 week starting from tonight. Once you complete your input forms, please go ahead and give them to one of our volunteers, and those will be collected and presented to the committee at our next meeting. Thank you so much for attending this evening, and please drive home safely. Thank you.